Welcome to Scotland. Scotland, a land of rugged beauty and timeless allure, offers a captivating mix of history, culture, and breathtaking landscapes. In this video, we'll uncover some fascinating facts about this enchanting nation before diving into its most remarkable destinations. Get ready for a journey filled with dramatic highlands, ancient castles, and vibrant cities. Though part of the United Kingdom, Scotland boasts a strong cultural identity, with Gaelic heritage, kilts, and bagpipes as enduring symbols. Home to nearly 800 islands, it's a haven for explorers. Scotland's whiskey distilleries are world-renowned, with over 130 active distilleries producing the iconic Water of Life. It's also where the world's first color television was invented, a testament to its innovative spirit. The Scottish Highlands, with their towering peaks, serene lochs, and vast moors, offer landscapes that feel almost otherworldly. Loch Ness, shrouded in myth and mystery, continues to captivate visitors hoping for a glimpse of its legendary resident. The Isle of Skye enchants with its fairy pools and jagged ridges, while Edinburgh's Old Town and Castle blend history and charm seamlessly. Scotland is more than a destination. It's an experience that lingers in your heart. From its windswept shores to its bustling cities, this is a country that invites exploration and ignites imagination. Where will your Scottish adventure begin? Crowned by the ancient silhouette of Edinburgh Castle, this city rises from volcanic stone like something out of myth and poetry. The castle stands high above the city, perched on Castle Rock, where for centuries it has guarded the Scottish capital with stoic grace. Below, the city spills outward in layers, each street, each alley, a page of history worn by time. The Royal Mile, Edinburgh's ancient spine, stretches from the castle gates to the grand Holyrood Palace. Along its cobbled path, echoes of bagpipes drift through the air, and stone buildings lean in close as if to share secrets from centuries past. Duck into hidden closes, where ghost stories live and the scent of malt whiskey hangs in the air. Beyond the old town's medieval charm, the new town unfolds in perfect symmetry, a vision of Georgian elegance with grand terraces, neoclassical facades, and stylish shops and cafes tucked into graceful squares. It's a striking contrast, yet the two halves breathe together as one city. Once an industrial powerhouse, today Glasgow is a city reborn. Bold, creative, and full of soul. It doesn't whisper its story, it sings it through music, murals, and the unmistakable warmth of its people. Set along the banks of the River Clyde, This is a city where grit meets grace, and tradition dances with modern energy. In the West End, leafy streets wind past vintage shops and cozy tea rooms, while the grand towers of Glasgow University rise above the skyline like something from a Gothic novel. Nearby, the Kelvingrove Art Gallery and Museum dazzles with everything from Renaissance paintings to suits of armor, a temple of culture wrapped in red sandstone. But Glasgow's heartbeat is its people. They'll greet you with wit, charm, and a humor as dry as a Highland winter. Strike up a conversation in a pub, and you'll leave with a story, a laugh, and probably a friend. The city's spirit lives in its music venues, its poetry nights, its bustling streets lined with vibrant murals and glowing neon. The Cathedral Precinct reveals Glasgow's older soul, a medieval cathedral standing tall amid modern life, watching centuries pass in silence. Tucked between rolling hills and mirror-like lochs, Trossachs National Park is Scotland's wild heart, where rugged beauty and quiet magic weave together in every landscape. Often called the Highlands in miniature, the park stretches from deep forests to towering peaks, offering a taste of everything that makes Scotland timeless. Stand on the edge of Loch Katrine, where calm waters reflect pine-covered hills and the air feels heavy with history. This was the inspiration for Sir Walter Scott's epic tales, and even today, it feels like the land holds stories in the wind. Venture along winding trails beneath the Ben Aan Peak, a short climb that rewards with breathtaking views, glens stretching to the horizon, lochs shimmering below, and distant mountains fading into mist. Every step here feels purposeful, every breath deeper, every moment clearer. The park bursts with life. Red deer moving through morning fog, ospreys soaring above still waters, and the occasional Highland cow grazing peacefully under brooding skies. Whether you're paddling across Loch Lomond, cycling through ancient woodland, or just sitting still in the silence, the Trossachs reach inward. As evening settles, the hills glow golden, and mist curls gently across the lochs. Cradled along Scotland's west coast, Oban is a small harbor town with a big spirit, where the sea shapes daily life and adventure begins at the edge of the pier. Known as the Gateway to the Isles, Oban is where ferries come and go, carrying travelers toward the Hebrides, and where stories of the sea are etched into every breeze. The town curls around a sheltered bay with brightly colored houses stacked along the hills and fishing boats bobbing gently in the harbor. High above it all stands McCaig's Tower, a strange and beautiful Colosseum-like monument, offering panoramic views over the islands and sea. Oban's charm lies in its rhythm, the clink of seafood plates in a waterfront pub, the call of gulls overhead, and the soft lapping of waves against the dock. The town is famous for its fresh catches, oysters, scallops, and smoked salmon, served with a squeeze of lemon and the scent of salt in the air. Just outside town, ancient castles and windswept ruins whisper tales of clans and warriors, while lush green hills invite long, quiet walks. And then there's the whiskey, rich and crafted at the Oban distillery, one of the oldest and smallest in Scotland, nestled right in the heart of the town. As the sun sinks into the sea, the bay reflects the gold of the sky, and Oban glows with a quiet warmth. Jutting skyward from the misty landscape of the Isle of Skye, the Old Man of Storr is one of Scotland's most iconic and surreal landmarks. Towering rock pinnacles rise like ancient sentinels, their jagged silhouettes shaped by time. This dramatic formation feels otherworldly, a place where the earth itself seems to reach up and touch the sky. The trail begins gently, weaving through soft green hills that roll out like a Highland tapestry. As you climb, the wind grows stronger, the clouds move faster, and the landscape begins to shift, becoming rawled and utterly breathtaking. Every step reveals new angles of the towering rocks, standing tall against brooding skies. Local legends say the Old Man is the remains of a giant turned to stone while fleeing the light. Whether myth or geology, it's easy to believe in magic here. The silence feels sacred, broken only by the cry of distant birds or the whisper of the wind across the moor. From the summit, the view stretches far and wide, across rolling cliffs, sparkling lochs, and the endless waters of the Sound of Rossay. It's a moment that steals your breath, not from the climb, but from sheer, overwhelming beauty. Deep, dark, and endlessly mysterious, Loch Ness is Scotland's most legendary body of water. A place where myth and nature swirl together beneath wind-brushed waves. Stretching over 20 miles through the heart of the Highlands, it's more than just a lake, it's a symbol of wonder and quiet awe. The loch's surface is often still, like black glass, holding secrets in its inky depths. Locals will tell you tales of Nessie, the fabled Loch Ness monster, said to dwell in the deep waters. And as mist curls low over the hills, it's not hard to imagine something ancient stirring far below. Standing on the ruins of Urquhart Castle, you feel the weight of centuries. Once a stronghold guarding the loch, now its crumbling towers frame sweeping views. Endless water, wild hills, and skies that shift from stormy gray to sudden gold. Drive along the winding roads that hug the shoreline, through pine forests and hidden glens. Stop in the quiet village of Drumnadrochit, where local cafes serve warm scones, and museums dive deep into the Nessie legend. Rising above the clouds at 1,345 meters, Ben Nevis is the tallest mountain in the British Isles, a giant carved from ancient rock, standing guard over the Scottish Highlands. Its Gaelic name, Beinn Nibhais, means venomous mountain, or mountain with its head in the clouds, and once you stand beneath its shadow, you'll understand why. The journey begins in Glen Nevis, where soft trails wind through lush valleys, past tumbling waterfalls and wildflower-covered slopes. As you ascend, the air grows thinner, cooler, and the views grow wider, a sweeping highland panorama of lochs, glens, and endless ridgelines. For many, climbing Ben Nevis is a test of endurance and spirit. The mountain track, though popular, is no gentle stroll. It demands respect, with weather that can shift in minutes. One moment, sunshine warms your face. The next, mist swallows the path and silence presses in. At the summit, where snow often lingers well into spring, stands the crumbling remains of an old observatory, a reminder that even here, people once studied the sky, seeking to understand the mountain's moods. On a clear day, the view stretches for over 100 miles, a vast, humbling canvas of rugged terrain. Ben Nevis is a challenge, a pilgrimage, and a journey into the wild soul of Scotland. For the first time, I'm excited to share our very own travel guide ebook, made with love just for you. It's called Around the World in 50 Places, a complete travel guide featuring 50 stunning destinations across 10 amazing countries. Inside, you'll find best times to visit, how to get there, where to stay, what to eat, and key safety tips. In short, everything you need before packing your bags. Love discovering new places or want to support my work? Then this book is for you. You're now seeing the book cover on screen. Check the description to grab your copy. Swept by sea winds and wrapped in ancient mist, the Isle of Skye is Scotland at its most untamed. A place where jagged cliffs, deep lochs, and moody skies create landscapes that feel almost unreal. Known as the Misty Isle, Skye is more than just beautiful. It's deeply evocative, rich with folklore, and layered in timeless mystery. The journey begins as you cross the Skye Bridge or arrive by ferry, and immediately, the scenery changes. Rolling hills give way to soaring cliffs, winding roads hug the coast, and every turn feels like a passage into another world. Walk among the towering rock spires of the Quiraing, where the earth seems to fold and ripple in impossible shapes. Hike up to the Old Man of Storr, where stone fingers pierce the sky, standing tall against fierce highland winds. The silence here is deep, broken only by the sound of boots on rock and the distant call of birds. Further west, the fairy pools sparkle with crystal clear water, tumbling down from the Quiraing Mountains in a series of turquoise waterfalls. Locals speak of fairies and hidden realms, and even if you don't believe, it's hard not to feel a certain magic in the air. The island's small villages, like Portree, with its colorful harbor, offer warmth and shelter after days of exploring. Perched high on Castle Rock, Edinburgh Castle dominates the skyline, a powerful symbol of Scotland's history, resilience, and royal legacy. With its weathered stone walls and dramatic clifftop position, it feels less like a building and more like a living monument. Carved by centuries, steeped in battle, and rich with secrets. The approach up the Royal Mile is a journey through time, where cobbled streets echo with the footsteps of kings, poets, and warriors. Cross the drawbridge and step inside the castle gates, where each courtyard, tower, and cannon tells a different chapter of Scotland's turbulent past. At the heart of the fortress lies the crown jewels of Scotland, glittering with regal defiance. Alongside them rests the Stone of Destiny, a relic used in the coronation of monarchs for centuries. Stolen, hidden, returned, and forever tied to the soul of the nation. Explore St. Margaret's Chapel, the oldest surviving building in Edinburgh, or stand beside the Mons Meg cannon, once capable of hurling massive stones over enemy lines. At 1 o'clock sharp, the tradition of the 1 o'clock gun echoes across the city, a moment both startling and ceremonial. But it's the view from the ramparts that steals your breath. The city unfolds below in every direction. The spires of Old Town, the symmetry of the New Town, the volcanic peaks of Arthur's Seat, and beyond, the distant shimmer of the North Sea. Nestled at the foot of mighty Ben Nevis, Fort William is where Scotland's wild beauty meets quiet charm. A highland town wrapped in mountains, mist, and the call of distant adventure. Known as the outdoor capital of the UK, it's the kind of place where every path leads into the unknown, and every sunrise feels like the start of something vast. The town itself sits beside the dark waters of Loch Lomond, with colorful buildings and cozy cafes lining the waterfront. Life here moves at the pace of the land, steady, grounded in tradition, and touched by the elements. But just beyond the town's edge, the landscape shifts into something spectacular. Hikers from around the world begin their ascent of Ben Nevis here, following the trails that climb high above the clouds. Others explore the legendary Great Glen Way, a long-distance route that carves through valleys and past ancient lochs. For those drawn to history, the ruins of Inverloch Castle stand silent and proud, watching over the land like a ghost from a warrior's tale. One of Fort William's most enchanting experiences arrives on rails. Wild, rugged, and deeply enchanting, the Isle of Mull is one of Scotland's best-kept secrets. A place where nature feels untouched, and every horizon hints at ancient stories. Just a short ferry ride from the mainland, Mull greets you with dramatic coastlines, windswept hills, and a rhythm that invites you to slow down and breathe. At the heart of the island lies Tobermory, a harbor town as charming as a watercolor painting. Its row of brightly colored houses curves around the bay, where fishing boats drift and the scent of salt fills the air. This isn't just the island's capital, it's its soul, friendly, laid back, and filled with local life. Beyond Tobermory, the island opens up into vast, untamed beauty. Golden beaches appear suddenly at the end of winding roads, while eagles soar above cliffs that rise straight from the sea. Wildlife lovers come hoping to glimpse otters, red deer, or even whales, all of which make their home in Mull's untouched corners. Take a journey to the hauntingly beautiful Dunnottar Castle, perched dramatically on a rocky point where the Clan MacLean once ruled the waters. Or venture by boat to Staffa Island, where the hexagonal basalt columns of Fingal's Cave echo with the sound of waves and legend. Shaped by ancient landslides and cloaked in mist, the Quiraing is one of the Isle of Skye's most surreal and otherworldly landscapes. Here, the earth seems to twist and ripple, as if frozen mid-motion, a theater of green cliffs, jagged pinnacles, and shadowed valleys sculpted by time. The journey begins with a winding drive up narrow highland roads, where each bend reveals something new and dramatic. When you arrive, it's not a single view, it's an unfolding panorama, wild and cinematic. The table, a grassy plateau, the needle, a lone spire of rock, and the prison, a natural fortress-like outcrop. Each feature feels like part of a forgotten legend. Hiking the Quiraing Loop is like stepping into a dream. The trail weaves along cliff edges and through deep gullies, each turn offering silence, solitude, and staggering beauty. Mist often hangs low, moving like a living thing across the landscape, revealing and concealing in rhythm with the wind. On clear days, the views stretch across the Sound of Rossay to the Scottish mainland, while flocks of sheep dot the hillsides like quiet observers of the ages. Cradled by hills and looking out over a quiet bay, Portree is the beating heart of the Isle of Skye, a small harbor town with a soul as vast as the sea beyond. Its name means King's Port, a nod to a royal visit centuries ago, but today it welcomes travelers from around the world, drawn by its beauty, its warmth, and its quiet magic. The harbor is where it all begins, a crescent of brightly colored buildings reflected in still water, where fishing boats sway gently and seagulls call from the rooftops. Whether bathed in soft morning light or glowing under a twilight sky, it's a view that feels like a postcard brought to life. Wander the narrow lanes and you'll find local bakeries, art galleries, and cozy pubs where the scent of peat smoke drifts through the door. Music spills from the corners at night. Traditional fiddle, voices in Gaelic, stories told in song. There's a sense of tradition here, not preserved in glass, but alive and moving. In the early hours, as mist rolls across the bay, or at dusk, when the sky turns soft shades of blue and rose, you'll feel the quiet wonder that defines this town. Portree isn't grand or loud. It's gentle. It invites you in, wraps you in calm, and lingers in your memory long after the journey ends. A harbor not just for boats, but for moments, for breath, and for peace. Spread out like a mirror between rolling hills and wooded shores, Loch Lomond is one of Scotland's most beloved natural treasures. It's the largest loch in the country by surface area, and its beauty is as expansive as its waters, cost, and utterly captivating. Here, the highlands and lowlands meet, blending rugged peaks with soft meadows, and creating a landscape that feels both wild and welcoming. The loch is dotted with over 30 islands, some rich with legend, others home to wildlife and whispering trees. Boats drift across the still surface, and every ripple seems to carry a secret of the land. The eastern shore is perfect for walkers and ramblers, with forest trails and gentle climbs offering panoramic views. The West Highland Way, one of Scotland's most famous long-distance paths, runs along this side, guiding adventurers through lochside woods and over open moors. To the west, the mountains rise sharper. Connick Hill, with its iconic shape, rewards even short climbs with sweeping views of the loch stretching into the horizon. Beyond that, the Arrochar Alps stand proud, challenging and majestic. Charming villages like Luss hug the shoreline, with stone cottages, flower-filled gardens, and piers that reach out into the glassy water. It's the kind of place where time slows down, where you can sit, breathe, and let the quiet beauty sink in. Often called Scotland in miniature, the Isle of Arran captures the essence of an entire country within a single island. From rugged mountains and deep glens to rolling farmland and golden beaches, this place offers a little bit of everything, all wrapped in an atmosphere of peace and quiet wonder. Just a short ferry ride from the mainland, Arran feels both close and far away. The moment you step ashore in Brodick, the island's main village, you're welcomed by the dramatic silhouette of Goat Fell, the island's highest peak. Climbing it is a rite of passage, a hike that rewards with sweeping views of sea, sky, and land. Not far from town stands the majestic Brodick Castle, a red sandstone fortress set against forested hills and formal gardens. Inside, its halls are filled with Scottish history and Highland flair, while outside, red squirrels dart through the trees. To the island's south lies Lag, home to Arran's newest whiskey distillery, where the taste of peat and tradition lingers in every dram. And scattered across the island, you'll find ancient standing stones, mysterious stone circles, and echoes of Neolithic life that hint at a deep and storied past. Rising between the North Sea and the rolling hills of Aberdeenshire, Aberdeen is a city of striking contrasts, where granite streets shine silver in the sun, and centuries-old charm meets modern energy. Known as the Granite City, Aberdeen glows with a unique kind of light, carved from stone and softened by sea air. At its heart lies a city steeped in history. Wander the quiet courtyards of Old Aberdeen, where cobblestone lanes lead past ivy-draped walls, and the towering spire of King's College Chapel rises above the trees. Founded in the 15th century, this university precinct feels like it belongs to another era, scholarly and full of timeless grace. Head south, and the city's pulse quickens. Union Street buzzes with shops, cafes, and galleries, while the sounds of street performers echo between Gothic facades. Yet just minutes away, you'll find peace again, in the manicured quiet of Duthie Park, or among the blooms of the Winter Gardens, one of Europe's largest indoor botanical collections. Along the coast, the city opens to sea and sky. Aberdeen Beach stretches wide, with golden sand crashing waves, and surfers carving lines through the cold North Sea. Draped in mist and carved by ice and time, Glencoe is a place where the Highlands feel truly alive, raw, cinematic, and hauntingly beautiful. This glacial valley, tucked deep in the western Scottish Highlands, is not just a destination, it's a feeling, one of grandeur, silence, and deep, stirring awe. As you approach, the mountains rise like giants on either side. Towering peaks, such as Buachael Ediv Moor and the Three Sisters standing guard over the narrow, winding road. Clouds drift low here, clinging to the ridges, casting shifting shadows across the moorland below. Every turn reveals a new perspective, a waterfall tumbling down black rock, a stag poised on a distant ridge, a shaft of sunlight piercing through stormy skies. But Glencoe isn't only about scenery, it holds deep scars of history. It was here in 1692 that the tragic massacre of Glencoe took place, a betrayal that echoes in the quiet air. Walk through the glen, and the stillness feels like remembrance. The land remembers, and so will you. For adventurers, Glencoe offers endless trails. Climb the jagged Aunosh Egach Ridge, trek across Rannoch Moor, or simply lose yourself on a quiet hillside path where the only sound is the wind. Glencoe is more than a glen. It's a place where the land speaks of beauty, of sorrow, of resilience. And as you stand among the peaks, wrapped in wind and wonder, you'll feel it too. The weight of history, the pull of nature, and the quiet invitation to simply be. Tucked away on the wild western coast of the Isle of Lewis, Shawbost Beach is a wind-swept stretch of sand where the Atlantic meets the land with power and grace. This is not a beach of umbrellas and crowds. It's a place of solitude, skies, and nature in its purest form. As you step onto the soft, pale sand, the first thing you notice is the sound, the rhythmic roar of waves rolling in from far horizons. The beach arcs gently between rocky headlands, sheltering it from the harshest winds, while still allowing the Atlantic's untamed spirit to shine through. Behind the beach, green dunes roll like frozen waves themselves, covered in hardy grasses and wildflowers that dance in the breeze. In the distance, croft houses dot the landscape, their stone walls standing strong against time and weather. On quiet days, the waters shimmer with blues and greens, revealing a rare clarity. You might spot seals bobbing in the surf, or seabirds diving in graceful arcs. And when the storms roll in, Shawbost transforms, wild, dramatic, and deeply alive. Curving gracefully through the misty hills of the West Highlands, the Glenfinnan Viaduct is more than just a bridge. It's a symbol of timeless Scottish beauty and a moment of magic carved into the landscape. With its 21 sweeping arches and dramatic backdrop of loch and mountain, this century-old railway marvel draws visitors from around the world, not just for its engineering, but for the feeling it evokes. As the Jacobite steam train approaches, puffs of white smoke trailing behind, it's easy to feel like you've stepped into a storybook. And for many, that story is Harry Potter. This is the very viaduct where the Hogwarts Express raced across the Highlands, blending fiction and reality in a swirl of mist and wonder. But long before it became a film icon, Glenfinnan held its own history. Just beyond the viaduct lies the Glenfinnan Monument, standing tall at the head of Loch Shiel. It marks the spot where Bonnie Prince Charlie raised his standard in 1745, launching the Jacobite Rising, a moment that forever changed Scottish history. The surrounding views are breathtaking. Pine-covered slopes falling into mirror-still waters, deer sometimes appearing at the forest edge, and skies that shift from moody gray to glowing gold in moments. Whether you're hiking to a high viewpoint or standing below as the train passes above, every angle reveals something spectacular. Perched on a dramatic cliff edge above the crashing waves of the North Sea, Dunnottar Castle is one of Scotland's most awe-inspiring ruins, a place where history, legend, and wild beauty collide. The castle's weathered stone walls rise from the very rock itself, defiant against centuries of storm and siege, as if carved by the hand of the land. A narrow, winding path leads you to the fortress, a journey that feels like stepping back in time. Below, the sea churns and roars, while seabirds wheel in the wind above. The isolation is part of its power, the sense that this place has stood apart, watching silently as centuries have passed. Within its ruined halls, echoes of history linger. It was here that the Scottish crown jewels were hidden during Cromwell's invasion, saved from capture by courage and secrecy. Kings and rebels have passed through its gates. Tales of betrayal, imprisonment, and fierce loyalty still whisper through crumbling stairways and stone chambers. The views are just as breathtaking as the story. To the north and south, towering cliffs plunge into the sea.